Asher, and Pumpkin on W4CY Radio.
This is the Pipe Man here on the Adventures of Pipe Man W4CY Radio, and I'm here with our next guest that, oh my God, he is an expert in one of my favorite areas, and that is health and fitness. So let's welcome to the show certified health and fitness coach, Hunter Stoller. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. So I like that you're certified. I just want to start there because there's so many people nowadays that are coaches in every area that have no certification, no education, no training. And it's like, if I want somebody to give me health and fitness, coaching, I want them to be certified. Number one, and number two, I want to look at them and say, they do look healthy and fit.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I started my social media not certified, and it was just a way for me to share my meals with my friends. I was a private account and myself. And then I started realizing I was losing weight. I felt great. And that's what made me get that certification. So I'm a certified health coach and fitness coach. And it really helped me with that credential, the credibility, because I would never want to hire a coach, nutritionist, or a dietitian that doesn't have a degree or a certification.
Well, not only that, okay, so one of the things you said that I loved, but I had this client years ago. He was a wealth coach, and I'm from the financial business. Like, I had 15 licenses and 5 professional designations, and this guy was calling himself a wealth coach who had no certifications, no training, no licenses, no education, and he drove a beat up pickup truck and basically had no money whatsoever. And that didn't even bother me. What bothered me is he never did. So,
Yeah.
he had no GPS of how to become wealthy. And I think you, more than other even health and fitness coaches out there, are somebody I would go to because you did lose over 50 pounds yourself. So you walked your talk.
Exactly. And there are people, just to say, who could specialize in weight loss and be certified, who might have, a faster metabolism and have been on the leaner side their whole life. But if I were going to someone for weight loss or fat loss specifically, because weight and fat are similar but different, I would want to go to someone who walked the talk.
Right. I think that's true of anything. If I'm going to get coached by somebody, I want to know that they already went on that journey.
Agreed.
So what started the journey for you?
Yeah, so it was actually early 2020 when I was having a meal with my family. I actually think it was 2019 Thanksgiving, right before the pandemic. And my plate was just full of piles of carbs. There was barely any protein on it, maybe a little turkey, all carbs. I didn't give it a second thought. I didn't even think I was overweight at the time, but I had cystic acne. I felt fatigued. I never worked out or moved my body, and I just thought that was normal. For some reason, it never was made aware to me that I needed to change. And my mom and sister politely nudged me, and they said, "Hunter, look at your plate." And that's when I looked down, and I was just shocked because that's when it just clicked in my head, what did they say? It just flipped in my head and the switch flipped. And that's when I realized I needed to change something, because change requires change. And if I kept going in the way and direction that I was going previously, it would not have turned out well.
True. And I'm glad that you noticed too, because I think sometimes for a lot of people is they don't notice until it becomes so difficult. So it becomes so beyond. And I was loving your story because I have my own story, not with weight though, because I never really had a problem with weight, which is what's strange. But 10, 12 years ago, I was diagnosed with diabetes. Mm-hmm. And I say strange because people say to me, "What do you mean you have diabetes? You're thin."
Yeah.
And what made me realize, because I've always been into natural health. So it wasn't like I went to a doctor and a doctor told me I had diabetes. It was more like I called my pharmacist here in the Wellington area here in South Florida, who She's a vegan pharmacist that when people come into their pharmacy, they compound their own stuff, but she's like, well, why are you getting this? And she offers natural alternatives. So I knew I had some kind of issue. And so I called her up. I'm like, listen, I'm feeling some symptoms. I think I need a blood test. I want a recommendation of where I can go that they're not going to put me on a bunch of meds. And so oddly enough, there was a doctor right below the studio that she sent me to. And we had this hour and a half talk before he tested me. And he was like, yep, you know your body, just like you say, because you have diabetes and you caught it right at the beginning. Now, what interested me about your story is I am a total carbaholic, a total sugar addict, a total chocoholic. My kids would make fun of me. They're like, don't leave a pan of brownies out at night. They'll be gone by morning. And listen, they're not even exaggerating. I could eat a whole pan of brownies in one sitting. I would go to these business conferences where they have the continental breakfast and eat like 12 Danishes.
Oh, the all-you-can-eat buffets, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's like, so you don't even think about it, too. If you're somebody like me that didn't gain weight, it's like, oh, I'll just keep putting all this poison in my body. You don't think about it at all.
If you don't see a difference in the mirror, you think it's not affecting you. And you don't even think about how it could be affecting you internally. And through my certification in becoming a health coach and through just, listening to shows, podcasts, reading about different health and wellness topics, I've learned about subcutaneous fat, which is the fat that surrounds your organs. And that's also what some people like to call skinny fat, where you could be on the smaller and leaner side. You could wear a small or a medium in clothing, but your body around your organs could be composed and surrounded by a lot of fat, which obviously is not good for you in the long run. And you could be eating all the sugar every single day, every meal. And just because you are not gaining weight on the scale, you're not, and your clothing is the same size, it still could be doing damage to your body. And I'm glad you realized that before it was too late.
Well, absolutely, because I don't take meds. I went to my naturopath and I put myself on a very strict 6-month thing. Well, she put me on it, but I stuck to it myself. And I remember my son saying, Dad, I got to give you props doing what you're doing, because I would just take the meds. I'm like, but you don't understand. If you take the meds, you still have to eat like this.
Of course.
You can't take, America thinks this way. If you take these magical meds, you can still poison your body.
Yeah, it's the same thing with, the GLP-1 shots, where people could still be losing weight. But going back to what I was saying earlier about weight loss versus fat loss, there's a very big difference, because your weight is composed of four main things. We have our, bones. We have water weight, which actually is a lot of our weight. We have body fat, and we also have muscle mass. And for 99.9% of people, they want to gain muscle and lose body fat so that they could get that toned look that they want. And GLP-1s, they make a lot of people not want to eat. And they do have a time and place for them. Of course, if you are obese, morbidly obese, losing any weight is going to help you and be healthier than the way that you currently are. And those medications are amazing for that. But for the people who might only want to lose 5, 10, maybe even 15 pounds, you are going to be losing predominantly and mostly muscle mass. And you do not want to lose muscle mass. You want to lose body fat and maintain your muscles. So as a result, you might get smaller and your clothes might go down a size, but you look at yourself and you realize you lost the definition that you have. And once, like you were saying, like you're on those meds for the rest of your life, unless you actually make a change. It's not a Band-Aid solution. And that's why I'm all about diet, 95% of the equation when it comes to overall health. Exercise is only 5%. I still exercise almost every day. And I consider exercise to be extra credit because it's phenomenal for you, your heart health, your overall body, your mental health. Of course, you do burn calories by exercising, but I focus on the strength training aspect and the cardio because you want to improve your heart health, and you also, it's great mentally, and you want to build muscle. But your diet is what controls your weight.
Totally. And I reversed my diabetes with just food. But here's where I'm interested in what you have to say, because you have this whole way of helping people to not only eat better, but spend less also, and how to shop smarter. Because I'll tell you, when I did that 6 months, I was eating a bunch of crap I didn't like, and it was costing me more than it ever did to eat. Like, it's like, man, I'll go back to, those dollar cookies that I could buy.
Yeah. So one thing that I realized that while I was focusing on my weight loss journey, I realized that I was actually saving so much money, talking around $10,000 a year. And that
Wow.
comes from a lot of different things. But there's two main factors that led to that decrease in the amount of money I was spending. And one of them, which is the most important to me, was my alcohol consumption was cut drastically. If I went to a bar or anywhere in college, because that's where I really was undergoing my weight loss transformation, I'm not buying $20 to $30 drinks that were available. I would maybe have a drink or two at home. And if you buy your own vodka, it's very different from getting it at the store. And I am not the store. It's very different from getting it at the bar or the club, wherever. And you are saving hundreds of dollars a week if you are going out multiple times a week. And then the other thing is, I would start every single Sunday, every week, being like, my diet starts tomorrow on Monday, and I'm going to stock my fridge, freezer, and pantry with healthy products. And I would still be Uber Eatsing and DoorDashing every single day while having a fridge that's stocked. And as a result, all the stuff in my fridge, freezer, and pantry would expire, get moldy, and they would just go bad. So I was basically shopping for like 2 or 3 times what I really needed. And now, when I was on my weight loss journey, focusing on still eating a lot, but I'm eating a lot of the right stuff. I actually just posted on my Instagram story. I actually, right before this, like 2 minutes before I joined this call, I had the biggest plate ever. I could actually show it. And I had a high protein, nutrient dense breakfast that is enormous. So take a look at this breakfast.
Wow.
I have tons of sauteed mushrooms and zucchini. Probably cost $3 at the most. And you don't even need to buy organic. That's just a step above. 4 scrambled eggs. I had a high protein, high fiber bagel and a few blueberries and coffee. And that's eating a lot of food for much less money than getting it at a store. And the best part is you make it at home, you know everything that's going in it, high in protein and nutrients, and it's not high in calories. So you're going to be full for a while, you're going to feel great, and that's just the methodology that I use to lose 50 pounds in under a year.
I love it. Now, let's talk about that plate of food again, because I look at that and people may be looking at that and saying, wow, not only is that a lot of food, but at a distance, it kind of looks like that's food that's going to make you gain weight, or it's too much, or whatever it is. So tell us the secret why that is a very healthy way to eat, because it looks like it's not healthy to some people.
Yeah, of course. So I find myself to be, I don't want to say a master, but very good at finding healthier swaps for traditional products. Just this morning, I posted a cheese ball swap. So many people, including myself as a kid, would eat, the pints of cheese balls. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I find that a brand that I love, Lesser Evil, makes a delicious, much healthier version that doesn't have bioengineered ingredients, doesn't have artificial flavors or food coloring agents like food dyes, Red 40 in it, and it's made of real cheese, organic cheddar, and it tastes delicious, and it's so much better for you and your body. So my plate, I'm all about volume eating a lot for fewer calories. People don't realize that you can make a smoothie the exact same size in any cup, and that smoothie could be 250 calories or it could be 1,000 plus calories. And the difference could be you think your 1 tablespoon of peanut butter is similar to 5 tablespoons of peanut butter. And you could take an enormous spoonful from a peanut butter or almond butter jar, and you don't even understand that peanut butter is, a serving is very small. It's 1 to 2 tablespoons, and that's 100 or 200 calories. And what I used to do, I would put 5 or 6 tablespoons in my smoothies and wonder, oh, it's a smoothie, it has to be healthy. Or I'd drown my salad, which was a huge salad in a huge bowl, with 400, 500, sometimes even 600 calories of dressing, throw on cheese, throw on nuts, whatever it is. And I would say that this is healthy. But there's a very big difference between eating healthy and eating healthy for weight loss. So I like eating more food that I'm aware is more nutrient dense, lower in calories, than having like a little bit of peanut butter and calling it wraps, because that plate is 460 calories and 43 grams of protein. And
wow.
Some protein bars are 300 calories and you're done with it in 20 seconds, And
it's not even good.
Yeah. And I feel so good after eating this 30 to 40 minutes ago. And I'm definitely going to make that tomorrow. I do actually need to go to the grocery store after this and get the ingredients again.
I love it too, because that's the one thing I found out when I started changing my eating habits is it would blow my mind reading the labels. Like
Yeah.
now, I read the labels on everything in the store now. It's
Amazing.
like, why are you putting sugar in my broccoli? Like
Oh yeah.
stuff like that. I can't. And like V8 juice, which is always promoted to be healthy, is probably one of the most unhealthy things.
Yeah, or the naked juice that has 55 grams of sugar, and people are like, it's all fruit and vegetables. I'm like, do you understand how pressed and how many fruits and vegetables have to be in here for this 55 grams of sugar? You know what I would recommend? Why don't you eat a cup of watermelon or grapes or blueberries? Like, eat
Right?
real food. Like, fruit juice has a place, I guess, but it's not something you should be consuming every day.
Well, and you'll agree. I think a lot of people don't realize that once you juice a fruit, it takes out the fiber that makes it good and makes it not be pure sugar.
100%. It keeps you full for a longer duration. Fiber is amazing for you. And my plate also had 36 grams of fiber because that bagel that I use is a very unique bagel. And it's 70 calories, 10 or 11 grams of protein, and 31 grams of fiber, which is extremely rare. So when 80% of Americans don't reach their fiber goals, I'm like, hello, like these bagels, they're $2 a bagel. And don't tell me that that's too expensive when you're going out for dinner multiple times a week. And it is getting you to your fiber goals for the day by eating a healthier bagel that tastes delicious.
Oh, I definitely need to find out what that bagel is because
it's Royo, Royo. They have it at Whole Foods, online, delicious.
Oh, because I need to get that. Listen, I'm a Jew. I miss having my bagels, and I rarely have bagels because for diabetics, that's like the worst thing you could eat. Yeah. So when you talk about that much fiber, I'm like, I'm in. I can eat that bagel.
Incredible. It doesn't hurt my stomach, and it's just amazing. Like I put eggs on it. You could put anything on it. You can make a peanut butter and jelly on this bagel, and as long as you're aware of how much peanut butter you're using, like that could be an extremely healthy snack or part of a meal.
Yeah, exactly. I love it because, you know, you even take things like Metamucil or whatever. I don't want to do that. I don't want to take fake fiber or fake anything. Like,
and they add so many additives to that Metamucil that it's gross. Like, just eat your real food. And fiber sources, they might be hard to find at first, but once you have a list, which I share all the time on social media, it becomes so much easier, and you feel better.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I also know you have some simple label reading tricks because I want to hear about that because it's like going to a grocery store. I need a whole day because I'm reading all the labels.
So people are waking up to the ingredient labels in grocery stores and online. And a very simple trick, I mean, the fewer ingredients most of the time is better, but you still could have some, you know, hydrogenated vegetable oil blends, and the whole ingredient list might only be 3 or 4 ingredients. But what I will say is you do want to look for things that do not contain artificial flavors or artificial sweeteners that will wreck your gut health, like sucralose, aspartame, acesulfame, potassium, things like that, sweet and low. You want to also eat a predominantly whole food diet. I mean, fruits, vegetables, and proteins. I'm talking things like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, eggs, chicken, steak, deli turkey. A lot of people fear deli turkey because they think it's carcinogenic. What I would say is do not buy the ones that are, you know, in those packages that have caramel color and maltodextrin and carrageenan in it. Just buy the Whole Foods or Applegate, whatever brand it is, sliced turkey, that the ingredients are just turkey, salt, pepper. Like, it's available at most stores. I see it at Target, Whole Foods, Costco, so many places around the country. Sprouts. And another tip that I have is if you can pronounce it, it probably isn't the best for you.
Right.
I mean, there's so many people who would counteract that by saying you just don't know like the ingredient names. 99% of the times, the foods that I'm eating, I know I could easily understand every single ingredient, and they're things that my grandparents would have eaten. And you just don't want to go into the bioengineered mess, the artificial dyes. I mean, they're just so unnecessary in our food, and you'll feel so much better. I'm not only about losing weight and getting to your goal weight, but also feeling good every day.
Well, that's key, because if you're not feeling good, then you're going to probably gain the weight back anyway, because you're miserable not feeling good.
Yeah.
You know, and it is interesting what we're talking about too, because like I travel all over the world a lot, and let's take something as simple as Cocoa Puffs, which is
Mhm.
something I would never eat in the United States, but I used to love. In the Netherlands, Cocoa Puffs has 3 ingredients and 3 grams of sugar.
Yeah.
Cocoa Puffs.
It's probably like 25 grams of sugar here and 20 ingredients.
Right.
Crazy.
And plenty that you can't even pronounce. And I remember too when like MSG was a thing, so they outlawed it. So now they just call it natural flavoring and it's okay.
I still see MSG on labels, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. It's in
that's
Doritos.
wild. Well, because a lot of the companies, they instead of saying MSG, they just call it natural flavoring.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It is.
So how do people reach out to you on socials, on the web? How can they reach out to you if they want coaching from you or tips or anything?
So my Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook and YouTube are all at Health with Hunter. And you could just search Health with Hunter. It'll come up. And I post on my Instagram story, my Instagram story, my Facebook story, and I post reels, graphics, TikTok videos every single day. It's my full-time job, and all I'm about is sharing brands that are better for you, new products that have better ingredients, simple swaps for things like Cocoa Puffs, and just how to eat healthy that doesn't break the bank account and that also helps you feel good.
Nice. And what about kids? Because like I think that's the hardest thing for parents is figuring out how to get their kids to eat healthy. And I know you have some ideas.
Yeah. So there's swaps for everything, whether it's fruit snacks and you're thinking about giving your kids Doritos or Welch's. There's swaps for everything. Swap your chips for you. They don't need to not eat the fun foods. They just need to find the better ones because your kid is not going to know the difference before they try a chip. Whether it's a Dorito with 80 ingredients, dyes, and MSG, and artificial flavor, I could go on, or a Siete chip that has all real ingredients, is made with avocado oil and coconut sugar. So make things like that. For fruit snacks, give them Soli or That's It fruit gummies. For milk, I mean, there's so many options for milk now, whether it's dairy-free, plant-based, or just regular milk. And you just want to read those labels. There's so many brands. I have so many kids snack swaps on my page. It's honestly inspiring me to do more because parents get very stressed when thinking about snacks for their kids. And honestly, just remembering, like, for everyone, not only kids, like, your home should be your safe space when it comes to nutrition. And if you have foods that trigger you in your home, like, there was a time when I was obsessed with peanut butter, and I could eat half of a jar of peanut butter just standing at my pantry. And that was something I needed to eliminate for a little time being. And now I'm completely fine with having a jar or two of peanut butter in my pantry, and I don't get triggered or feel like I need to eat it all. So remember that if something's triggering you, something doesn't go well with you, you don't need it in your environment, and then you could have it when you're out, but your home should be a safe space for nutrition, and stock it up with great foods and shop those sales because the sales are when you save a lot of money, whether you're at Whole Foods, Aldi, Costco, Thrive Market, Target, Amazon, shop the sales and stock up. That's what I do. Saves me thousands a year, and you'll thank yourself later.
Nice. And so I want to know too, what was it that made you go viral to get up to over 1 million followers on your socials?
Yeah, so altogether it's at like 1.2 million, which is crazy. And one thing that I will say above all, and you'll hear this all the time, I'm sure from your guests, is consistency. Two things: consistency and listening to what my followers want. I don't post things that I think are going to go viral. I try to post things that I know my 465,000 followers on Instagram are going to want to see. Things that they've asked me to review, video ideas that or store locations that they love. I know my audience loves Costco and they love Trader Joe's. And I know that I should post more videos at those stores because those are the most popular with my audience. I don't think about what non-followers are going to want because that's not who my videos are going to at first. Let my followers engage with it, interact with it, share it to friends and family members, and let the algorithm do its thing. But I post consistently. I'm very engaging in my comments and DMs, and I just want to become a very reliable, reputable source. And that's what I hope I'm doing every day.
Well, I love it. And one last thing that I think is very important for the listeners right now is I understand you have a way that they can year round have that pumpkin spice latte that they wait for Starbucks or anybody else to have only in Halloween. So let's talk about your healthy one.
So if anyone wants to see the video, you could search Health with Hunter, Fox and Friends Pumpkin Spice Latte. And I love pumpkin, and I have pumpkin all year round. I don't think it needs to be a fall and a little bit of a winter thing. I love pumpkin, and you all know the main coffee shops that have their pumpkin spice frappuccinos with 100+ grams of sugar, not going to do good things for you. No. What I would say is make your own at home. There's pumpkin spice that you could add into almond milk. You could add into a smoothie. You could add into yogurt, and it will flavor your food or drink with pumpkin without any sugar, without any calories, and without any bloat. There's also pumpkin puree that you could of course buy, and you could froth that into your milk, again, your smoothies, your coffee, whatever it is, and it will turn your coffee from a bland black or traditional iced coffee into a pumpkin coffee. You can make your own cold foam by frothing it with some heavy cream or some half and half, or almond milk or whole milk, and you have yourself the most delicious pumpkin drink or food. And there's also pumpkin protein powders out there that use real pumpkin. Enough of the artificial junk, enough of the artificial sweeteners, and also we do not need coffee with 10+ grams of sugar per serving. I mean, you're having 3 or 4 coffees a day. That's more than your recommended sugar intake daily, and it's just in a drink when you don't even think it's a sugar bomb.
I know, right? And I don't drink coffee because I don't like it. But when I see people going to get coffee and just pouring the sugar in, I'm like, you obviously don't like the coffee. No. If you have to throw the sugar in there, you obviously don't like it. Though. Why do you force yourself to like it? That's why I always think. That's what happened to me was one night. That's why I thought there was a problem. I ate a whole box of Oreos in one sitting, and I didn't even really like Oreos. As much as a chocoholic I am, that wasn't my go-to. I'm like, I think there might be a problem. And then I found out too, like you probably know this, that people said, well, it's because you ate like that you have it. I'm like, actually what I found out is that's the symptom of diabetes, not the cause of.
Yeah, and you're craving sugar regardless of the type of sugar, and you become addicted. But I'm very happy you became aware and are focusing on, healthier swaps, healthier products, and your audience too.
Same to you. So what would be, it's 2026. So if we were to give for 2026, the one goal that somebody should meet in their health and fitness, if they were to pick one, what would you say?
I love that. I would say my number one tip would be to prioritize protein. And I know you probably have heard that a ton, but even if you are doing the hardest workouts in the world and are stressing out your body and trying to build muscle and you're sore, you're not doing anything unless you're building muscle, because you're not doing anything unless you're eating protein, because without the protein, your muscles are not going to get bigger and they're not going to repair. So you need to, whether you want a very lean look, a bodybuilder look, or you just want a natural, normal look, protein is not going to make you bulky. What's going to make you bulky or gain body fat is eating way too many calories over your maintenance calories, which is a whole nother topic. But do not fear protein thinking it's going to make you thick or bulky. What you should be fearing are the ultra-processed foods that are addicting and have actual chemicals in it to make you addicted. So don't fear that. Also, regardless of the season, always stay hydrated, not just with water and electrolytes. And again, there's very big electrolyte brands out there that have 13, 14 grams of sugar per serving. Those are not the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah, there you go. Well, man, you are definitely walking your talk. I strongly suggest everybody, especially since it's the beginning of 2026, reach out to you, follow you on socials, get some tips, and see what you could do to help them to reach their health and fitness goals. Because I think you not only have experienced it, but you're a wealth of knowledge. So thank you for helping people on their journey through your experiences, and thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipe Man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipe Man on W4CY Radio.